Hi Aries, welcome back to the Astrology 33 channel. This is your December 2020 tarot reading. Thank you to those of you who liked, viewed, shared, subscribed, and donated to the channel. I appreciate all of that. Regarding personal readings, I'm probably not going to be bringing those back until January, but I just wanted to give you an update there. As far as what we have in front of us, it's a Celtic cross spread as always, and then I also pulled a couple of Oracle cards and a Mudra card for you guys. So we'll get started with the main spread. The main situation position, we have the Four of Swords. So this is actually in Libra energy, which is your opposite sign. Usually this points to some kind of healing, whether it was from an emotional situation, possibly some kind of harsh communication you might have had with someone, possibly even with a relationship partner too, since this is your opposite sign. But we do see that it looks like you're taking some time to heal. For some of you, it might have even been a physical ailment that you might have been going through, but that's what I'm seeing here primarily, that you guys are going through some rest, taking some time to relax. Your ruler, Mars, finally went direct. I'm recording this in the middle of November, so you guys have been going through that retrograde. So on the one hand, you might think that you'd expect to be hitting the ground running in December, but that's not necessarily what I'm seeing here. It looks like you guys are still recovering from something, and we'll see what that's about as we go along. All right, in the challenge or obstacle position, we have the Four of Wands, and this is actually Aries energy. So interesting, we have the Four of Swords and Four of Wands, which are the exact opposites of each other. And, for example, this could definitely point to, for some of you, this might have been a relationship that you might have had a separation from, or at the very least, some kind of a falling out. This could have even just been a difference in visions regarding the relationship. For example, maybe one of you saw the direction of the relationship going in a more serious long-term direction, whereas the other person might have thought it was something more casual. That's just a generic example, but one that comes to mind. And for some of you, it could just be saying that maybe you might have had some really ambitious goals in mind, and it could just be saying that you might have to readjust those goals. Now, this could be, not just in a relationship, but just in general. Maybe you had these ambitious plans and maybe you realize you have to scale them back a little bit. Not saying that you can't reach them, but that it might take you a little longer than expected, right? And it might have been some experiences that you were having with these retrogrades that you were going through. So, that might have been what caused you to have to scale back these plans, or at least gave you the realization that you would. But overall, I don't necessarily see this as a doom and gloom thing either. It could just be saying, again, I feel like this could just be a bit of a delay where, you might have had a vision for something to be at a certain point by now, and it just might be taking a little longer than you'd hoped. All right, in the foundation position, we have the Tower. So again, seems to repeat the theme that I was saying there, where maybe you guys had some kind of plans that you had in mind, or even just a vision around something, and something might have taken place for you guys recently to where you've had to reimagine that vision and say, okay, maybe I'm not as far along as I thought I was. I might have to retrace my steps and get back on track. And this could just be one of those things because finally for you guys in December, Saturn's going to leave your 10th house. So, for example, this could have been career aspirations you might have had. Could be pretty much anything in your life. But again, like I said, I feel like this was probably during those retrogrades. And if it was a relationship, I feel like it might have been the beginning of November when you guys had issues. And I'll point out why that's the case when we get to the next card. But again, I'm just getting the feeling here that you guys might have had a certain vision and goal in mind, and there could have just been a need to readjust those goals. And it might have come as a bit of a shock to you, of course, given that it is the Tower energy. All right, in the past position, we have the Queen of Swords. So this is actually Libra energy again here. So this is the second time we're seeing that. And what I was saying as far as if it was a relationship that broke up, I feel like the timing might have been, this could be something that you might have went through at the very beginning of November. And the reason I say that is because during that Mercury retrograde that we had going on, it started in Scorpio, but then it actually went back into Aries. And right after that, full moon in Taurus. So you had the full moon in Taurus around Halloween. The day after that, we had Mercury and Saturn squaring each other. And Mercury was in your opposite sign, Saturn was in your 10th house. Well, for those of you in the US, you saw the election fiasco, right, as far as the delays there. So, same kind of energy, just a really restrictive energy. And that could have been where this difficulty might have come about between you and your partner. Or again, this could have been, like I said, in career as well, especially given that that aspect did hit your 10th house. So, that's what I'm seeing there. And it could just been the main thing could have been about fairness as well. So for example, whatever the dynamic, whether it's a relationship, romantic relationship, family relationship, a work relationship, there could have been some kind of a disagreement over balance. One person might have felt they were putting in more work than the other, things along those lines, and that could have been the cause of the issue. All right, in the present position, we have the 10 of Cups in reverse and the 5 of Wands. So, same concept. I feel like this is just saying again that it's two people that had two totally different visions of the situation. Reason why I say that is because you could almost see that 10 of Cups energy connecting to that 4 of Wands energy, right? It looks like a celebratory energy with two people. Here we see they've actually gotten to the point where they have a family, but the general concept to me is similar in that regard. And then for that to be in reverse with the 5 of Wands, with the 5 of Wands being the next card after that 4 of Wands, could just be saying that there could be disagreements on what direction to take. So whether it is a romantic relationship, like I said, or a business partnership, seems like there's clashing points of view on how best to go about the connection. All right, in the near future position, we have the 3 of Wands, so more Aries energy here, and Justice, more Libra energy. So, I can see this going a few different ways. So, on one hand, this could just be saying that you're waiting for someone to come restore balance in a situation. Now, for somebody, this could even be going a legal route. That's certainly a possibility when we see Justice and Queen of Swords in the same spread. So maybe this is something that's getting involved through the courts, but more so I'm just seeing a feeling here where you feel like you've put in your work, you've done your fair share, right? And you're just waiting for the other person to put in their fair share. So that's the first thing that comes to mind with that. Another could be that maybe you feel like you've been waiting for someone to mature in a way. So that's a little less likely, but I feel like it's more of a perception that you might have versus the way it might actually be. And the reason I say that is because we see the Queen of Swords here, and it's like you're waiting for them to mature to the Justice card. You know what I mean? But it's like Queen of Swords is obviously already pretty mature, so it could just be one of those things where the perception might be a bit off. And then you could see where that could lead to conflict, right? So that's another way I could see that going. Not necessarily seeing this pointing to any activity going on in Libra because, like I said, Mercury did leave there and there's not really going to be anything coming through there. Well, nothing that comes to mind anyway. Let me take a quick look. Yeah, Libra is going to be pretty quiet for a while. So I feel like this is just more of a thing where you're waiting for someone to come restore balance. Seems like you feel like you've done your fair share and now you feel like the ball is in their court. All right, in the position of your influence in the situation, we have the King of Wands. So this is actually the court card for Leo, but of course this could represent you guys as well since you're also a fire sign. But what this could be telling me too, though, is it could just be saying that you could be digging your feet in a certain way. So, could just be whether you're right or wrong, right, whatever the case may be, it looks like it could just be saying that because Leo energy is fixed energy, you guys are the cardinal fire. So it could just be saying that you're really digging your feet in, and that could just be causing the situation to stall even more, And usually, of course, that's usually the case when the other person is also a bit stubborn. So it could just be one of those things where you guys are at a stalemate, And what's interesting to me is he's looking right at that tower, So again, like I said, I get a feeling, like a bit of a feeling of a possible like blame game dynamic, where you're looking at the tower, like, okay, well, it was their fault. They're going to have to come fix it. You know what I mean? Which, obviously, yes, they could have had some role in it, maybe even the majority role in it, but it just looks like the energy you might be in just could be causing a bit more of a blockage regarding getting the situation back on track. All right. In the environment position, we have the Nine of Cups and the Eight of Cups. So interesting energies here. These are actually both Pisces energy for one, but if this is representing your energy, the one way I could see this being is, again, like I said, the feeling that you're kind of digging your feet in with that Three of Wands, the King of Wands here. It's like, all right, well, I know what I want. I know what I bring to the table. I know what I deserve, right? And then anything less than that, the willingness to walk away from anything that you feel isn't at that level. But what's interesting to me here, though, is it could just be saying that, it could just be one of those things where you might leave a situation with a lot of potential prematurely. Because, like, if I saw the Eight of Cups first and then Nine of Cups, I'd say, okay, well, yeah, if you walk away from the connection, it would actually benefit you. You'd be closer to fulfillment in that regard. But to see it the other way around, it could just be saying to me that you're really close to something, something that has a lot of potential, and then you could just walk away from it because you kind of dig your feet in, like, nope, I'm not going to budge on the situation. And to be fair, this could also represent the other person's energy. So the same dynamic, but it could be them coming from that vantage point. And then, like I said, if you're in that energy, then obviously we could see where the clash would be, right? Two people who kind of dug their feet in, and you're not really going to get any forward progress in that regard. All right. In the hopes or fears position, we have the Two of Cups, which is Cancer energy, Knight of Cups, which is Pisces energy again, and Knight of Pentacles, which is Virgo energy. So I'm going to assume the Two of Cups is a hope, no matter whatever situation. People tend to think romantic relationship first, but pretty much any dynamic, this is a good energy to have, right? Where it's like two people are coming into a connection open, right? Both bringing something to the table. There's that openness, willingness, communication. With the Knight of Cups, I feel like this is saying, a want and a desire to restore balance in the connection I'm feeling, just express your feelings in a positive way, right? And then actually, with that Knight of Pentacles, to try to build towards something stable, right? So, of course, with that Tower, maybe there was the vision of stability, and maybe whatever events unfold, it might have shown, at the very least, you and possibly both of you, that, okay, maybe this isn't as stable as we thought, right? Talking it through and trying to get back on track. So, I do have to say that this isn't any guarantee that that's what's going to play out, but at the very least, it looks like it's a hope of yours. For some of you, this could even say it might take until Pisces season, which, it's going to be a couple more months, but just wanted to mention that. All right, and in the outcome position, we have the Sun. So this is actually, technically, it's Leo is ruled by the Sun, so sometimes it's seen as more Leo energy, which you also have the King of Wands there. But what I'm seeing here, this does obviously represent happiness. So for some of you, this can be a short-term thing where maybe you guys can get the connection back on track. But this might also be showing you the pathway to getting there too. What I mean by that is, instead of being in this King of Wands position where you are digging your feet in, could just be saying for you to just be in a bit more of a light and playful energy, and that might actually get you back on track. So, like I said, you guys have had heavy energies going through your 10th house for a long time. You had the Mars retrograde, and yes, it's going direct now, but it's going to take some time to build up speed. The good thing is it's not going to have too many harsh aspects anymore, because Saturn's moving out of your 10th house, and then Jupiter as well, and then, so really the last aspect it's going to be making that's a bit tense is with Pluto. Don't get me wrong, that's a pretty intense one on its own, but less than you guys were dealing with before. Let's just put it that way. When the retrograde first started, so you know, could just be saying that you might be coming out on the other side of that, and you might just feel a lighter energy with Saturn moving out of your 10th as well. You know, it's a pretty heavy place for it to be. So that's what I'm seeing there. And at the bottom of the deck, you do have the Seven of Pentacles. So, you know, again, I feel like this is you looking at time, energy, effort, possibly actual resources that you've invested into a situation. Maybe considering, do you want to continue to put time, energy, effort into this, or just, you know, move on from it? Um, and that could have been something left over from that Taurus full moon at the very end of October, too. So maybe it's just been something that's been on your mind for a while. And like I said, if you felt like you were just spinning your wheels with all those retrogrades, it could just be saying that, you know, try not to lose hope in that regard yet. You could get that forward momentum coming back around now that all those energies are starting to clear. All right, next we'll move on to the oracle cards. First, we have All That Glitters. There's the artwork and the number 16. So interestingly enough, it matches up with the tower. So again, seeing that makes me think of what we were saying, where, you know, maybe you had a vision around something and it might have, you know, had to be readjusted a bit, and it might have come to light during these transits. But let's see what it says. Okay, it says a need to see beyond the superficial, the desire to don a mask or dress something up to disguise its true nature, trying to be something you're not, chasing after every sparkly new thing, being mercurial. The oracle's message: it's only humans want to adorn oneself in trinkets and paint the pretty picture of oneself. It's natural to want to acquire the trappings of status, or to deny them as a statement of rebellion. But if it sparkles, is it better? Whether it's a fast car, a big house, a title or position, the stamp of authority, or the sparkling of diamonds, these icons let you know something about a person, place, or thing. Or do they? The truth is that people seek to acquire things because of what they will do for them and how they symbolically will elevate them and make them more attractive. This card signals that it's time to see beyond the adornments and probe beneath the surface. Learn to recognize the mask people wear and the motives underlying them. Imagine that all the glitter is gone. Would you still desire the object or person? So interesting message there, and you know, maybe that's what it was to a certain extent too, where like I said, maybe you guys just were viewing a relationship differently than the other person might have been. So maybe you might have put them up on some kind of pedestal in a way, for example. That's one way it could play out. So it could just be saying that you might have had a bit of a reality check in that regard, and maybe you have to, and maybe that's what you've been considering. Okay, now that I see this person more clearly, do I still want to put energy toward the connection, right? For some of you, it looks like you totally will. Either way, it looks like you can end up happy with that Sun card and the outcome, but hopefully that message resonated. All right, the relationship message says sometimes we try to become something we're not to impress others. We embellish a story a bit, adding some dramatic elements to make us more appealing. The real person becomes hidden behind the sparkle and shine. And then there are times when we don't see the true value of someone else because he or she may not have the glitz and glamour that seems so desirable. Now is the time to look past the surface, beyond the mask, to the essence of a person. Who that person is, not what he or she can give you, is important. See beyond the glitter and look for the inner glow. Use the eyes in your heart. Let go of artifice and let what is authentic shine. So interesting message there, and like I said, we do have some Piscean energy, so definitely could point to, for some of you, you know, maybe just weren't seeing a situation or person clearly. So hopefully that resonated for you as well. And the prosperity message says sometimes an opportunity looks so good that it glitters like gold and you just can't resist it, especially when it appears others are doing so well and have hit the mother lode. During the American gold rush, everyone hurried west to find their fortune, and then deserted entire towns after the mining depleted the gold veins in the earth. So too can you deplete yourself as you chase after the latest shiny thing that has caught your eye. There is a mercurial quality to your present circumstances. Pay no attention to those who chase after fool's gold. Resist the temptation to be jealous of others. What they have achieved may not be the true success you seek, so don't compare yourself to them. You see only the surface right now, only the sparkle. Be assured that you will experience your own shining moment if you stick to what you know. All that glitters may not be gold for you. So interesting message there, and that I could definitely see where that could have been the case with some of you too. Where, like I said, with between the Mars retrograde in your sign to begin with, that's already kind of intense. But then, like I said, all those tough aspects that were hitting it during Libra season, like I said, when that retrograde happened, the energies in Saturn. So, you might have just felt like anything you were trying to make progress on just wasn't working for you. So that might have made you start to second guess what you were working on and possibly say, well, should I go another direction? So that could be how it played out for some of you as well. So hopefully that resonated if that was the case. All right, next we have Crow Spirit. It says, co-create with spirit. All right, doesn't want to focus, but there's the artwork, and the number is 17. Okay, it says, as you look around you, can you sense the magic that pulses through the world? Have you witnessed how every thought can become a thing? How every intention can call the universe into action as the sacred laws shape what you experience? The universe works in perfect order. When you align your thoughts, feelings, and beliefs with spirit, you will want to crow with delight, feeling the excitement and wonder of being in harmony with something much larger than yourself. Crow Spirit says you are on the right Crow Spirit says you are right on target now to see your dreams magically come into being in the visible world. The laws of abundance, compensation, frequency, and praise are operating in your favor now. Remember to be grateful and praise what is yours, even if it is still coalescing into form, still residing in the invisible realms of co-creation. No matter what area of your life you're concerned with now, what you hope for is on its way, for Spirit is your co-creation partner. So interesting message there, especially when it says, what you hope for is on its way. Because like I said, I was picking up on that energy for you guys a bit, where maybe it's just those transits might have had you losing faith in something you were working on and feeling like, okay, am I ever going to get there, right? Maybe you felt like you were having to restructure your goals and realize, okay, this might not happen in the time frame I was hoping for, things along those lines. So hopefully that resonated with you. And lastly, we have a mudra for you guys. So the mudra you guys got for this month is the Kangula mudra. There it is there. The keyword for it is potential. All right, there's the info on it if you want to pause it or take a screenshot to see what it has to say. But under benefits, it says improves digestion and assimilation, activates hidden talents and gifts, awakens somatic intuition, gut feeling, harmonizes human biorhythms with the rhythms and cycles of the natural world. All right, and there's a little more info on the card that wasn't in the frame there, so I'll move it up a bit if you wanted to pause it or take a screenshot for that as well. But overall, if you feel like this mudra would be beneficial for you guys, we'll put the name of the mudra in the description video as always. We'll wrap up there, and I'll see you guys next month. All right, bye.